Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. I have some arborvitae cuttings that I took in the fall of last year. And of course now we're in the middle of August and I haven't done a thing with them. I've left them alone. I haven't paid any attention to them hardly. I've watered them every now and then when it was really dry, but I really probably should have gotten these out early in the spring. So I thought I'd share with you what they look like now and check out the root systems and talk a little bit about those arborvitae cuttings. And I do have to say, they did pretty okay. So here's the pot, and basically I put them into a mixture of sand and soil conditioner is what you can buy it as. It's just basically chopped up pine bark shavings. And you can see here that a few of them didn't make it. I've taken a few others out, but check that out. It actually looks like it started some roots, but really just didn't develop. And it might be where we were getting really dry in the summertime and it just didn't make it through that. These others are doing quite well. There's like two here that are dead. No, actually that's just a branch off of one. But I have pulled a few out over the last couple months as I've seen brown in this pot. But if you look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 relatively healthy arborvitae cuttings. Now they are probably at this stage they're about 6 to 8 inches tall depending upon the cutting. And let's go check out what the roots look like. So to get the roots out of this, I'm just going to gently tap the sides and kind of loosen the soil up that's inside here. And we'll see if we can give a light tug. That doesn't help. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to just gently pull out the whole container. Sometimes it can help if you water it ahead of time. Loosens up the soil. But I think I'm going to be able to do okay with this as is. So we'll do that. And inside you can actually see the different soil mediums that's in here. You can see there's some sand. You can see the bark shavings. And now if you look at the bottom of the container, you can see lots and lots of rooting. So much so that you can tell that it really should have been taken out earlier. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to pull apart these cuttings as gently as I can. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll start with the loosest ones that we can pull out first. And we'll check them out. See that? Look at those root systems. That's really good. So I'll set those over to one side. And then here's another couple. Look at that. That's good too. Arborvitaes are actually really easy to take care of and to grow from cuttings. That one's a little bit long and spindly if you check that branching out, but look at that root system. Not bad. And then over here, this one's got a pretty stout root system going right there. And then here, and looks like that's a spindly little one there. And then this one's doing well. And then this one is a very small one, but it looks like it's got some roots on it. Check that out. That's one I didn't count before, so that means we got about 8 of them in there. That's a really tiny cutting too. So what's great about these cuttings is they were done in the fall, which allows you to just kind of observe them as they go. You're not having to worry so much in the fall about the water and the rain because you're getting some natural precipitation through the winter. And what I did is I kept them in a pot about this size here, which I'm not sure what the measurement is on that exactly, but you can see it's kind of deep, so there's going to be some soil in there and it's going to retain some moisture. I also put this into a tray, a flat, that would retain a little bit of water when it comes down through the pot. And so that would allow the water to wick up when it had excess water to pull from. So it's kind of like an extra reservoir for those cuttings. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to pot these up into some small pots and let them grow on through this year into the spring. I don't want to plant them this fall. We've got a deer around and the deer could come in and really chew these things up real fast. So we're going to pot them up first, let them grow, let them get a little bit larger. And for potting them up, we're using a half and half potting mix that I'm mixing with those bark shavings. So it's a organic potting mix. It doesn't have to be organic if you don't want to use organic. It's just what I found at the store. And so I'm mixing that together with those pine bark shavings to create some extra drainage into it. As I was cleaning this up, I found one more. So it looks like we got about 9 of these. So here's one of those pots, and I've got it prepped with the soil. It's a half and half mix. So I'm just going to take that cutting, gently create a little bit of a hole in for it, put a little soil around it. I may take some of that potting mixture in here, just what we used for rooting. And I'm going to take one of the other mixed pots that I've already pre-filled and top off that particular plant. So there we go. Try to stay toward the center of the pot as much as possible, and just so it can have some nice even growth. And we'll give it a few days in a shady spot so it can kind of acclimate to the pot, keep it nice and wet, and then hopefully through this winter it will grow nice, and then in the spring we'll have a really good plant that we could pot out or plant out into the yard as either a hedgerow or a specimen. So all in all, we've got 8 really healthy cuttings. I think I was miscounting something somewhere along the way. I might have forgotten where that little one went off to. But anyway, I'm happy with 8. 8 cuttings here from these arborvitaes in a pot about this size is really great. So you don't need a lot of space to actually take cuttings and put them all together. You can do a lot with just a little bit of space. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my hose over here and get these nice and watered. And again, I'm going to keep them in a shady location for a few days until they are acclimated to being all in their individual pots. They should have a little bit of growing time this season, probably until mid-October. That's usually when we start getting frost. Once that happens, they will slow down. They may still grow from their roots because often we don't get any really hard frosts until December. We've even had a 70-degree today, one Christmas day, which is, you know, pretty high, but most of the time our winters are relatively mild, so the root systems can continue to grow if they are kept in the right environment for that. I'm not going to fertilize them right away. I'm going to rely on the organic potting soil for that for the moment. Once they get acclimated, probably a slow release fertilizer would be a good idea to put in your potted plants so that they'll grow on. And I would not, again, I would not plant these out right now. I would put them in pots, and then once they have had some time to grow a little bit larger and are all on their own root systems here, then that's when I would plant them in the ground. So probably I would be looking toward the end of the season next year, kind of toward fall, before I would really want to plant these out. But, you know, observe things, see how they grow, see how strong they are, and you can make your own judgment call on that. So I've mentioned arborvitae cuttings before, and you can check out that video up here. But if this video was helpful to you or interesting, hit the like button, subscribe. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time on Growing the Home Garden. Thanks for watching.